Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Pathway Podcast. My name is Reese Creed, and I'm so excited for another episode. This podcast is inspiring you to become your best self through conversations with business professionals, people from so many different careers, and students like yourselves. So today, I'm going to be talking to the CEO of Archayan Creative, Adam Coleman. He is a digital marketing wizard, and I'm so excited to talk to him about how digital marketing is taking over from traditional marketing, social media's role in business, and getting some tips myself because I just came into this industry too. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. Hi, Adam.
Hello, Reese.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm so excited to have you today.
Me too.
So tell the viewers a bit about yourself.
Oh, you got me straight away. My name is Adam. I own a brand and a marketing studio called Archayan. It was previously We Know Digital Agency. I also have an e-commerce business that does art prints, which is Studio Kai, previously No Little Art. I've been self-employed for 4 to 5 years now. I do photography, digital marketing, brand design, graphic design. I've dabbled in event management, influencer marketing, every area I get my hands on.
Everything. So what the Pathway podcast aims to do is kind of inspire students through stories that are conventional, unconventional, and just kind of showing them all the different routes that they can go down, basically, from school and from college and all that kind of stuff. So the first kind of question I have for you is when you were in school, what path did you think your life would take? What did you think you were going to be doing after?
For a long time, I had no idea. I never really fully decided. We didn't have much guidance counseling or anything like that, but I thought I was going to go into counseling and psychotherapy, which is extremely different to what I do now. So once I kind of hit 5th year, 6th year, that's kind of where my interests lied. I always just had a little personal interest in mental health and stuff. So that's actually what I applied for in CAO, but that was 50% of my brain. The other half was very interested in music and media. I didn't get the music course that I wanted in LIT, and I ended up getting accepted to a course for counseling and psychotherapy, but decided I didn't think that was my life. So I actually very, very last minute discovered LCFE. I did my Leaving Cert back in 2012, so it wasn't as popular as it is now. But that's where I started. I got into a level 5 in radio broadcasting and music management, I think was the course, RBMM. That was a level 5 VTech, and through that is where I kind of discovered graphic design. We did a bit of media law. It was very radio and music, but mixed with a lot of media production. So while I didn't really learn much about marketing in it, it kind of opened the doors into the media industry as a whole. Even though it was music focused, we still learned a bit about media.
So how did you feel when you got to college, when did you kind of go, this is for me? The kind of point where you were okay, I think this is something I have a knack for.
I think it was, for me, it was being having that creative freedom of a course like that. We were so hands-on, so creative. We had a radio studio in the college. So it was very opening up to a creative industry that I'd never experienced before, because I was 17 going to college. But the graphic design module and that really tickled my brain for design and arts and stuff. And again, it was because the course kind of jumbled so much about the media industry. I think that's where my interest started on wanting to do a lot, because that's what I do for a living. I do a lot of different areas within the one business. I ended up going back to LCFE for a second year at level 6, which was a lot more focused on radio production. And didn't love that, liked it at the time, but and it was kind of after college, once I was looking for the next step, I took little part-time jobs, and then discovered the internet. It was around the age that a lot of online courses started popping up, and that's kind of where my journey went to. And it was all a lot of self-teaching.
Perfect. So I think that's so cool, how I think you just came in at at the perfect time, really. So when did you like finish that course? Was that only like a year?
My level 5 was 1 year, and then I went straight back for the level 6. So that was another 1 year.
So 2014,
2014
basically.
was by the time I was out of college. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was when like the internet was like really surging. Like people were like
Yeah.
really kind of getting into
Yeah,
that
not
kind of-
not that. I mean, it wasn't 100 years ago that we didn't have internet, but
I
yeah, like
know,
I mean,
yeah.
when I was in secondary school, I don't think I knew that online courses were a thing, and we were
Yeah.
never told about them, or little things like that, because you're so bubbled when you're in that part of your life. So then college opens you up to the bigger world that's out there, and that was my kind of first jumping off point after I finished in LCFE, was doing online courses and stuff.
Yeah, so after the courses, like I kind of wanted to know, like you've obviously kind of done freelance work, you've obviously worked on your own social media as well. But when did you kind of think, okay, I think I can make a business out of this, and I think I can make money out of this and a career?
So I was working part-time jobs in like retail. I had a job in a gym, and I was doing little like online courses. It was mainly graphic design and digital marketing back then. But then I got an interest in photography, and that I think was the real kind of starting point for my freelancing and self-employment career. So I started freelancing as a photographer first. And then because Limerick is a small place, a lot of my clients happen to be small businesses. So I would start helping them with marketing. That's kind of where I really started to get interested in the world of digital marketing, discovered all of the avenues. Again, went back and did workshops, more online courses. But it was really, it was at the point that I really started to get busy with photography that I wanted to bring in these other services with the photography. And that's kind of when it expanded into its own kind of a business.
Cool. So obviously digital marketing is so new. Like I'm in this job 6 months. I had kind of no previous like digital marketing experience. I obviously did stuff on social media. I obviously knew how everything worked. I did a college course, English and New Media. So like, what would you kind of say, like, when did you know that like digital marketing was a job? Like, did you feel like there was a point where you were like, okay, like I am a digital marketer. I know that this is a job role now, because I feel like I did not know it was a job role until I got into it. Like it's a kind of vague one.
So for me, it was having a lot of like business to business services. I was helping a lot of small businesses, local businesses. I still didn't realize the kind of depth of the digital marketing industry. It was very much social media marketing focused back then. So that's kind of when I first realized it could be a job, even just social media marketing, because that's all I started in, managing social media accounts, creating content for social media accounts. And it was just getting experience from a lot of different areas and kind of finding that avenue in digital marketing. That's what I love about the industry, is you can, like 10 people could work in digital marketing, but their day-to-day roles could all be so different, and they could not have anything in common. And that just fascinated me.
Yeah, it's mad, because like even from working in digital marketing, I thought it was one thing, but it's really not. Like I there's so many things, like reporting, like scheduling, filming content, sorting out influencer campaigns. Like there's just so much to it that you just don't know. You think, oh my God, I'm just going to be posting Instagram stories every day. Like I'll wake up and I'll just like be managing an account. It's not that. There's so much behind it.
I always say it kind of depends on the company. If you are going to go do it for another company, it differs a lot company to company on what their needs are in marketing, because they could have other people in other marketing roles that someone could be managing the social media, but then they might need an executive to do project management, or it's just such a vast industry that it can look so different in so many companies and for different people. And even self-employed in the industry, like a year to next year, I could be working completely different things week to week.
So when did you see the kind of like shift in like popularity of digital marketing? Like you obviously went from like doing photography and then kind of stumbled into the kind of social media marketing, digital marketing kind of sector. So when did you see that this is like, okay, companies really want this?
For me, like my timeline of starting like official self-employment was like mid 2017. And I feel like that was the year that was kind of the rise of like the Instagram influencers. But back then, everyone, before the word influencer was even a thing, a lot of people had blogs. It was when that industry really started to open up. And I do feel like that shifted the digital marketing industry so much, because prior to them, PR companies had such different roles to what they have today, because there's a whole new industry brought underneath marketing. So I feel like that 2017, 2018, for me, opened up that new industry of influencer marketing, and in turn, businesses were like, okay, we need to kick things into gear to get on top of this rising industry. But it changes every year. Like even if we compare throughout COVID and stuff, like one of the biggest apps in the world now wasn't used by most people a year and a half ago.
I know.
Being TikTok, and now it's literally changed the industry and brought in a whole new set of influencers, like whole new like revenue streams. It's
Yeah, like I feel like it's crazy. Like even with social media, like I am such a big Instagram user, and then I was just like TikTok, downloaded it one day in lockdown,
yeah.
and I have never gotten off the app.
I'm the
It
exact
just
same.
loops and loops, and I'm like, I can never not watch these videos
Yeah.
again. They're so short. They actually just give me such happiness that I just cannot explain.
Yeah.
So what do you kind of feel social media's role in business is? So do you feel like that it's more for kind of brand awareness, like generating sales? Like, what do you think?
I think it's vital for any business. I don't think there's a business that can excuse themselves from social media, and a lot of businesses try to. And it's kind of the same answer with digital marketing. It is very different per company. A lot of businesses, it could just be brand awareness, but most businesses, it can increase revenue and you can generate sales through social media. Especially in the last like 3 to 4 years, social media has changed so much to be able to bring in revenue for influencers, for businesses, for large brands, small brands. I would say it's vital for most businesses, but I think both things that you said, both brand awareness and increase in revenue, but it is very different depending on if you're a service-based business, a local restaurant, an e-commerce business. Social media adapts to your business, is what I always say. You can utilize certain platforms for your specific business, and it's just kind of figuring out that like magic recipe of what will work for.
Yeah, because I even know like with Pathway, like me and my colleague, we do completely separate.
Yeah.
Like it's like we do the same job for Pathway, but it's just completely different. Like
Yeah.
I obviously work on stuff like this for the students watching at home.
Yeah.
Like I do their content so that they feel like Pathway is a fun,
Yeah.
kind of engaging platform, and that's what I wanted to be always for them. But then my colleague Ellie is another digital marketer, and she does things for the parents, so like
Yeah.
Facebook, LinkedIn, you know. So it's just like there's such different goals, I think, from not even just social media in general, just each platform you have.
Yeah.
Like I know that like just for me, like TikTok is totally brand awareness and giving our brand like a unique identity, basically.
Yeah.
Instagram then is kind of informative, and then obviously the other ones are just very professional and kind of breaking everything down. So.
Yeah. It's all about figuring out that kind of brand strategy for your own business. And that's kind of where you look at that, like who the target audience is, what you're trying to communicate to them. Are you trying to sell a product? Are you just trying to give them a space to feel fun and creative? And through that, you'll kind of find the answers of how you should be using a social media platform, but also what platforms you should be using.
Yeah. So then on to We Know Digital, aka Archaean Creative. I remember that was launched, when was it?
2019, I
Yeah.
think. End of summer 2019.
End of summer 2019.
Yeah.
I remember, great night.
Great
The
night.
launch was amazing. And then not even a year after, COVID hits. So what was the kind of effect you saw on your job with COVID? Like, did you feel like, oh my God, I'm so busy now because everyone has to, like, what's it, bricks and mortar shops are closed.
Yeah.
I need to get online. I need to get a website. I need to get my product out there online so that people can purchase it while sitting at home.
Yeah, exactly that. Especially for when COVID first hit. It's a little bit different now because we've been in a long time. Business resources have obviously ran out a little bit after almost 2 years. But definitely at the start of COVID, it was the one industry that could still fully function. Most people in a marketing role can work from home, especially anyone self-employed freelance. It's easy work from home. So the industry, yeah, I mean, I feel bad saying it, but the industry did boom for a little bit when the world was crumbling. But so many local businesses, like I see it personally time and time again with clients, because again, a lot of my clients are small local businesses, that they have a constant excuse that they don't have time to up their marketing or create a better website or be more present on social. So when we're all locked in home, and especially for the start when we were all just told to take a break, take a holiday, everyone was like, okay, how can I utilize this? And that's when me personally, my business saw a boom in like creating websites, new businesses starting up. A lot of people were furloughed from jobs and let go, and they rediscovered their passions. And so it was kind of a catch-22 situation, because it was good for a lot of people, bad for a lot of people. But the marketing industry, I think, can thrive through pretty much anything. But obviously, again, that's different, freelancer to freelancer, business to business.
And did you feel just in general that like you saw businesses that you never thought would have had social media getting it?
Yeah, absolutely. TikTok really, really, really changed the game for that.
Yeah.
Like, so many people are utilizing TikTok in like crazy little ways. Like, there's someone I saw the other day that's like viral on TikTok for tutorials about Microsoft Excel. Like, this person's getting like 5 million
I need
views
that.
per video. But it's so niche down, and I feel like that's what COVID gave us, because we all had this free time. I think everyone kind of rediscovered their passions outside of work. And yeah, I really think TikTok just changed everything, and businesses can just utilize it in all these crazy new ways. I
Yeah.
see so much like bakeries and stuff, like showing how to create these mad cake, and I would watch it for hours.
I know. Like, I even like follow most of the brands that I love. I follow them on TikTok because I think it's great, because I know with our Pathway TikTok, I always try and get like all the team in,
Yeah.
showing us and our different personalities, showing
Yeah.
the people behind the product. And that's what I kind of love about TikTok.
Yeah.
I kind of love that, like, it's not like hiding behind like a brand name or brand colors or,
Absolutely.
you know, anything like that, like which you can do on Instagram. You can just upload these
Yeah.
graphics, upload static images, and that's that. But with TikTok, you have to show a bit of personality, a bit
Yeah.
of fun. And I think that's a really, really good one.
Yeah, I feel like COVID did that for a lot of businesses. I even saw my clients' brand strategy is a large thing that we do. So essentially a marketing strategy, but from a brand perspective. But because we're all locked in home, and new social media that was personality focused blew up, that people were no longer engaging with those brandy brands that had no face, especially if you're
Yeah.
looking at a small business or a medium-sized company. People want to see the faces, they want personality. TikTok changed the way we like intake content as well, because everyone's attention span has gone way down because we're used to 30-second videos. So I feel like there is a bit of pressure from businesses that do want to up their marketing to get a little bit more personal, a lot more active, and just overall more creative. I feel like the industry got a lot more creative since COVID and TikTok. I feel like both of them coming at the same time
Yeah.
really just changed everything.
So obviously this is going out to the students who've signed up for the Pathway platform.
Mhm.
So would you have any advice for students who want to get into this line of work?
Mhm.
Like, what tips would you give to them? What tips would you give to me being in this job not that long? Any?
Like, I think going into a position, if you're going into a position with a company, I think getting as hands-on as you can, asking the team around you, people that have been there longer, for tips, tricks, but especially I think asking the CEO or the boss for more roles, bringing ideas to the table, especially working for a company in a marketing role. It is a very kind of back and forth, creative, design thinking kind of a role where you can bounce ideas around. But getting first step into the industry, I would say what I personally didn't do when I very first started, but I've done since, is research, going back to all the different roles in marketing, because as I said, 10 people can work in marketing and we're all doing different kind of things. Like, there's a lot of PR agencies where you can just work on influencer marketing. You're just working on events, doing paid collaborations. Then you have like more traditional marketing roles for like newspapers, corporations, where you're doing billboards, radio, ads. You have companies like this where you're doing a more creative role, where you'll be creating some content. You'll also be doing like just annual reports, social media. So I think like really pick apart, research. It's very easy to find that information now online, but research those different roles within digital marketing, where you want to go into public relations, social media, branding. Digital marketing, I feel like for a lot of people, can open up their interest into other creative roles like photography, graphic design, web design. What I personally did was just try absolutely everything. Like, I really, really just tried, and I offered every service under the sun when it came to marketing when I started my business. And now that's way refined down, and I only offer a select few. But it's a bad answer, I feel, but most people do say, but it is very true for this world, is to just get as much experience as possible, really, really explore all those little avenues. You can get so many online courses. LCFE, they do plenty of digital marketing courses. But I would say exploring those avenues prior to going and getting your degree, or looking for a course somewhere, is just figure out what area within the world of marketing you want to go down.
Yeah, because there's so many different parts, and I feel like you need to kind of know what niche you want to kind of get into before even going down those kind of roles.
Yeah, that's the thing. For a company, you can be given a lot of roles within a marketing role that can be, you could be their social media manager, you could be a content creator, you could be doing influencer marketing as well. You could be doing event management.
Or you could be doing all of the above.
Yeah, exactly. And then self-employment, obviously you try it all and then you refine it down. So it is, again, it depends what company you're going to, if you're looking for self-employment down the line. But it really is, it's the kind of thing you just throw yourself into, you try it all and you really just figure out what works for you and what doesn't. It's very dependent person to person. Are they more an analytical person? Are they a much more creative person? Those two things would really kind of split your journey down which side of marketing you want to go.
And if you want to know how to, like be what decision making style you are, you can take the Pathway survey. You just said there, analytical, conceptual, directive. Like there's just so many things that you need to take into account.
Yeah, I think it's very important to figure out personally how you are with like that, your mind, your thinking style, in order what career within marketing to go down, because a creative person mightn't thrive when they're doing reports and analytics 24/7, but vice versa.
Me,
a very like analytical person mightn't at all want to touch the creative stuff like social media content creation.
Oh no, I feel like especially with I know I'm talking about Ellie again, but Ellie, who I work with, we are chalk and cheese when it comes to that kind of thing. Like I'm way more the creative one that will sit down, do the podcast, create graphics all day, do content ideas, and then she's very like reporting, organizing, scheduling, all these kind of things. But you kind of have to have it all, really.
Yeah, there's roles that can mix both. You can go into project management even if you feel like you're not super creative or something like that, and you're still within the world of marketing. Because often just having your foot in the door in a company that has a large marketing department is a very creative and fun space to be in anyway.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing you figure out as you go. But I would say do those kind of surveys and whatnot and figure out yourself as a person in order which avenue you kind of prefer to take.
Perfect. So obviously you have your own company, Archaean Creative and Studio Kai. So with Archaean Creative, that is your kind of digital marketing company. So what does like a typical day look like for you?
I have no typical set day. But essentially I work from home 90% of the time. My day-to-day roles now look a little bit different to last year, because as I said, I'm at that stage in the past year where I really refined down my services. Essentially what we offer now is brand strategy, brand design, web design, content production, and print and packaging. So my company in particular, it is again very business to business services. So I would essentially work with a business when they're either just starting out or in the phase of trying to improve their marketing, or rebranding is a big one. So my day to day, like some days I could just be building websites 9 to 5, and it can be just sitting down at the desk. I obviously do have a lot of creative days where I'd be going out on a shoot. I do photography. I have someone else that does videography. So depending on the client, we could be shooting all kinds of things. I shoot restaurant menus, business spaces, headshots, portraiture, stuff like that. But most of my day is spent in the design world nowadays. So designing brand identities, logo design, graphic design, social media template design, web design. But then I still have that analytical role of brand strategy. So that's where we work with businesses either at the start or the rebranding phase. Essentially, it's like an enlarged marketing strategy, but we really look at it from a customer and brand perspective. So that's when I really shifted my kind of career path, because I wasn't a super analytical person. I didn't really
what goes into a brand strategy?
It's essentially a business plan, a marketing strategy, but it kind of acts as a guide for how the brand will be designed and how it will act here on out. So a marketing strategy, you are looking at very numbers, budget, what advertising can we do? Brand strategy will really like take a business to the very, very core. You kind of discover your brand values, what kind of messaging you're going to use, target audience. You build like customer personas. So you'd build a fake customer and just try and get as in their head as possible. It's very kind of a human first approach. You really, really work on the emotions of the brand. In turn, then that'll help us figure out how to design the brand, because often design should be done for the customer rather than for the owner of the company. Then it helps us with like the copy for social and websites. So it'll actually help us figure out like how the brand should be speaking and talking to its customers. Is it really professional, not very personal, or is it really, really casual using like slang words? So brand strategy, basically, it's like a more emotional side to marketing compared to a marketing strategy. And that's kind of where I really found my passion, and that's what I focus on.
Cool. I'm excited now. to see where you go with that one. But just as a final question,
Mhm.
what do you think the future looks like for digital marketing?
You cannot predict.
I know.
You
I
really
feel like
can.
even when I asked that question, I was like, it's just so unpredictable. But what do you think?
You always think you know, and then something happens and it changes everything. I sound like I'm a TikTok fanatic, and I am. I really think that's going to keep growing, and it is going to change the way we approach marketing. Pinterest, one that's often overlooked, but
because I love Pinterest. I always go and like do like fashion stuff on Pinterest,
Yeah.
and like I can't lie. I actually think that is the valid one.
Yeah, it's really grown recently. Like it's not really easy, but like a lot of people get like engagement through the roof. I see it continuing to be popular for fashion. Service businesses, I feel like, are missing out. It's a really big thing in the US to be on Pinterest as like a coach, a service provider, a marketing company, a designer, especially because if someone's doing a website or a logo, they're probably going to Pinterest for inspiration. So it's social media is often left at the back, but I think is going to grow more. But I think TikTok is just going to continue to change their format, because we started on a couple of seconds video. Now we're up to 3 minutes. Now they're paying creators. People are getting sponsored posts on it. I really do see them rising, and Instagram needing to keep up or do some updates to get on top of it. But for businesses, I really think just digital marketing is changing, going back to what I said earlier, in people don't want, unless it's a very niche industry, but they don't want that corporate look. They want to see the faces behind businesses. They want to see how your business can be creative. Every piece of content you create doesn't have to be salesy or about the product you offer. It really can just be something fun, laid back. Because I think since COVID, people are really looking for that emotional connection with businesses, just like they would with a friend. So I really see marketing taking a little bit more of a step into that human first approach.
That was a really good answer, Adam.
Thank you very much.
I really, really liked it. So guys, I just want to say thank you so much to Adam Coleman for sitting down with me. Absolute mega mind of digital marketing. I hope all you budding digital marketers out there enjoyed it and enjoyed learning how businesses can use social media to their benefit. So guys, as per usual, you can follow us on all our socials at My Pathway Journey. And this was so fun, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye guys.
Thanks, bye.